Hi, everybody. This is Terry Bowen, and I'm one of the speakers and presenters at this year's Interior Alignment and Soul Coaching Conference called A Home for Your Soul. And my guest this time is Cynthia Najim. Hi, Cynthia. How are you?
Hi, Terry. Great to see you.
Cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Cynthia is. Cynthia is going to be speaking about in our conference. But just in case you didn't know, the conference is this November, November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. In Orlando, Florida. We know that obviously what's been going on in that area, but it's all safe, it's all good. So we are looking forward to touching down in Orlando on November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We have two kind of packages available for people. So we have, if you're a practitioner, working with people either as a coach, feng shui, space clearing, in whichever way, we have a whole practitioner day that will help you kind of move your business forward and work with others like-minded people in connecting how to do different things. And there's some great speakers there. We also have a more public conference as well, in which Cynthia is going to be speaking about, and her title is called A Chime for Change, A Chime of Change. And a little bit about Cynthia. She models positive change and guides others through that liberating process. Having lived in 16 locations across 6 countries, she greets change as a close companion. Each move brings shifts in home, career, relationships, opportunities, perspectives, culture, and sometimes language. Professionally, Cynthia creates transformational experiences. She fosters the awareness of fear and the empowerment of vulnerability and truth. She awakens dormant dreams and the sacred through writing, coaching, and ceremony. Cynthia is one of our soul coaching master practitioners, past life coach, and a gateway dreaming coach. Her first book, The Descent to Freedom, is slated for release next year, and you can learn more about Cynthia at her website. But thank you, Cynthia, for joining me, and I'd
Terry,
love
thank
to
you.
hear more about the chime of change, and what it is you're going to be speaking about.
Well, it's interesting because you said I've lived in 16 locations. That last one, it was 15 until recently. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be showing up at the conference, which I'm very excited about, almost like a reality show. I've been steeped in major change these past months from inside to outside. And
Mhm.
so the chime of change is a topic that I'm highly passionate about. I think change keeps us fresh. It keeps us alive. It keeps us growing. It can be our barometer. How we adjust to change when it shows up in our life is a clear indication of how in connection with our soul we are, where our home for our soul is. And I liked the title, The Chime, because sometimes it does come like a little soft bell or a wind chime, and other times it can come like a blazing fire alarm with because we're not listening.
Yeah.
The universe is always giving us signs and messages. And so in the talk, I want to break it down into steps. It's definitely going to be a full session. You have to get clear on what you really want. And then a lot of people say, oh, well, I can't do that because of this. Well, it's dissolving those barriers to fulfillment and awakening our assets within. We're loaded. We came into this life fully loaded with assets that a lot of times people either they just forget or take for granted. And so they're lying dormant like a volcano. But we need to get those energies and assets moving because they're with us all the time, ready to help us. And then, of course, listening to our dreams, what's coming through in dream time. And finally, stepping in to conscious action. That's the key. So change
Mm.
doesn't have to be dramatic, as it has been for me these past several months. It
Yeah.
can just be a subtle shift in our compass point that can make all the difference. We have to be prepared and willing and and embrace it with tremendous courage and excitement because it will lead to good places.
Excellent. I'm excited to listen because most people when they come across things that are changing, it's just like, no, put it away. I don't want to know that. So it's and I always think that change is such a positive thing, even when it doesn't seem it. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you've got to
Thank
say.
you. I'm so grateful that I can be speaking and get to know some of my colleagues and certainly meet everyone attending who's ready to make positive change. And again, even just yesterday, I had something that that I had set up and planned for a long time, and it was just supposed to be like clockwork, and it was ended up having to troubleshoot for about 3.5, 4 hours.
Wow.
And but instead, I'm like, okay, what did I miss? How can this? What's the deeper message? Not just this, you know,
Yeah.
change comes in so many forms, as you know. And I was joking with Terry before we turned on the camera and started that if I shift my computer in any which way, boxes, I literally just moved. But anyway, I'm so excited, Terry, and to meet you in person.
Definitely, me too. And so that kind of goes in nicely because I've been asking all the other presenters, what does a home for your soul mean to you? And obviously, just moving, I suppose you've got a different outlook or a different idea in some way.
A home for the soul for me is it is the it's like the meaning of life. It is what moves me forward. We think of home and sometimes we can just think of our physical environment, which certainly it must nourish us in the deepest way so that we can live in harmony with our being. So there is that home for the soul and all of what other, speakers will be talking about and how to work with the energies in your physical environment. But for me, especially, it's within. And it's
Yeah.
not a destination like, oh, I'm going to get to this place where I'm in connection with my soul. For me, it's in my every breath because our thoughts are constantly changing and the external world brings us events or actions that are in conflict with who we are and with our being. But how do we integrate that so that we with each step and with each breath can feel that peace and connection even though it's so turbulent around us. And for me to just have sustained, and not just sustained but literally am thriving amidst the chaos of these past months of tremendous loss. My mother died, um, and the move and things with family and so many other things. I have to have that sense of grounding.
Yeah.
And again, that's available to everyone, and that is free. It's
Yes.
not like we have to go and shop and create excuses about it. You have to get clear and commit and then open to what's coming.
Definitely. That was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, so I'm looking forward to seeing you in Orlando for our conference. For those that are watching, the links to register to see more details are either up there or down there, whichever way you're looking at it.
Please
Um,
come. Change your schedule right now. It's not too late.
exactly. So yeah, so November 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Orlando, Florida. If you were looking at booking at the hotel that we have that we're the conference is on, I know that rooms have just been made available as well. So if you missed that chance before, then do kind of get in there. There's a special offer that we have, which is detailed on our website. So yeah, interioralignment.com. Have a look. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again, Cynthia, and see
We
you
will be
in
creating collectively a home for our souls right there in Orlando. Yes,
definitely.
it can be anywhere, anytime, and we are going to do that. So please come and join us.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, and we will see you in November.